Welcome back to this episode of Inside Tulsa Athletics. Today's show will feature baseball coaches from Rogers, Edison, and Hale, tennis coaches from Edison, Booker T, and Memorial. We'll also have Chris Hudgens from the Bond Department and Carol Axley of the Will Rogers Foundation. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Our first guest today is Carol Axley. Carol works with the Will Rogers Foundation and the Hall of Fame, which is going to happen in 2 weeks. But she's going to give us a rundown on what the foundation does for Rogers. Carol, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'll tell you what, we know in public education, it is hard for us to operate with just the dollars that come from Oklahoma City. And so we have to prevail upon our alums and friends of the school to keep those things going. So tell us about the foundation and when it originated and some of the things you do for Will Rogers.
Well, the main thing we're doing right now is our gala, which we have a Hall of Fame, and we have a committee that picks from the applications that are turned in from our outstanding alumni, and we have thousands of them out there. Oh, yeah. I think we're the only school in town that when you meet somebody, they say they're from Tulsa, they say, "Where do you go to school?" And we're all very proud that we went to Will Rogers High School. And we're celebrating our 85th year at Will Rogers. At our 50th year, we had our first Hall of Fame. It was held in the school building. Now we have it at the Doubletree South, out at Warren Place. This year we selected 6 members, and we picked candidates that have gone above and beyond in their field and are famous for what they've done, really. And you happen to be one of them this year, which I'm very proud to say.
I'm very humble.
Well, you were instrumental in doing over $100 million, as I understand it, of renovation and improvements to the athletic programs in Tulsa Public Schools.
Did 9 months with Dr. Ballard.
Yes, and you came up with the idea, the two of you, to put a stadium at Will Rogers, and Absolutely. It's changed. Before that, we were always going to Skelly Stadium or to Booker T or someplace else. So we have this competitive nomination procedure that you can go online and fill out a form. Has to be in by August 31st. This year we had almost 30. We have a committee of a little over 30, and all the people that are in the Hall of Fame have an opportunity to participate in choosing the next people that are in it. And then on April 5th, we have an assembly in the school with the Hall of Fame inductees talking about their life and letting these students know, I sat in that chair that you're sitting in. Mm-hmm. I lived right down the street. I never had any idea I'd be up here telling you that I'm a Hall of Fame member.
I live right across the street.
There
actually,
you go.
528 South New Haven.
Oh my gosh, you did.
Yeah, it's right there. So when I got the call from Dick Risk, I was really surprised. But it is a great group of people going in. The 6 going in now. But if you look down through the names of who's in Tulsa, the Will Rogers graduates. It's amazing. It's either Will Rogers or Central. It seems like, because those are only 2 schools for a long time. But I was in the 25th graduating class, so we had the silver anniversary my senior year, and we had a great time that year. But a lot of kids, I think, missed some of the things that we had. I remember being in the Roundup.
Yes.
And
we no longer have the Roundup.
No, I hadn't had the Roundup, and that was a great time. The football team would all get some part of it, and we'd be a part of it, And I remember my senior year, I was the wagon master in the Western scene, and the year as we were juniors, we got a bad write-up in the Tulsa World because we were all backstreet Johnnies that were drunk in the alley. And the Tulsa World didn't think that was good for high school kids to pick people drunk. But anyhow, it was a great time. Tell us some things that the foundation does for the school in general.
Well, the next thing that's on the agenda is we are sending students to Broadway to see the opening night of The Outsiders, which was based on Will Rogers High School.
You bet.
So they had an essay contest, and we're going to send them and the principal and a couple of teachers up there to have that experience. And the people that are the stars on Broadway are going to take them backstage and give them a tour. And it'll be something that they never forget.
Well, never forget that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's and to have kids, that are well-rounded like that, to be able to have a lot of different things that they do. And I know that Rogers is one of the schools that, for instance, in athletics, you have to participate in two.
Yes.
And I think that's a good thing. I think we have far too much specialization with kids today. And in the fifth grade, they're going to specialize in being a pitcher for the rest of their life. Well, they'll wear their arm out by the time they're in the eighth grade.
Exactly.
And so I think that's a good thing.
The foundation helps us buy our uniforms, send the kids to the state tournament, all those things. We rely on the foundation for funding.
And it's good that you have that for those kids too, because
Yes.
some of the schools we have to really help because it's hard that they don't have the same background and involvement of the alumni. So, well, Carol, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
And thank you for the kind words. We are excited. My family is excited about in a week and a half here to visit with the kids and then with the group on that Saturday night. So.
And Saturday night is a dinner and silent auction. There's a wine pull, and it's like a mini reunion.
Oh, yeah.
You go there and you see people that you've been friends with for a long time, but you didn't, in a business acquaintance, but you didn't know they went to Rogers. They were a completely different year,
That was one of our goals when we did the TPS Athletics Hall of Fame, is to get those people back involved with the school district because they left and nobody ever mentioned anything or said anything. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hales means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now we have our baseball coaches. We have 3 baseball coaches today, and our first one, Dean Green from the Edison Eagles. Dean, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's we're almost to April, and April is kind of the time that everybody gets ready to play because it's regional time. You got to get those records up a little bit and try to make everything up in your district that you have to make up to be eligible. But how's the season going so far?
So far, we've been okay. I won't say it's been great, but I won't say it's been awful. We've been kind of middle of the run right now, and we've had a couple of injuries that have set us back quite a bit. I lost a shortstop after game 2 this year due to a broken arm. And, we've had to kind of battle back through that and piece things together. But right now, our players are battling through it right now, and they're starting to kind of turn the corner a little bit and get a little bit of momentum going. So hopefully if we can continue to win a few ball games here and there, I think they'll be ready by the time regionals come around.
A shortstop is not one you want to lose.
No, it's not.
Usually your keystone player, and it's the one you want to build your program around. But you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it was a big setback for us, but luckily I've got about 6 seniors on this team that they kind of pick up the pieces here and there, and so far they filled the void. I've done a really good job, especially Spencer Daly. He stepped in and has really carried us through part of the year, and especially defensively, he's filled into that shortstop role right now, and he's excelled there.
Good, excellent. How's your pitching?
Pitching wise, we've done a really good job this year. We're arm heavy, luckily, and I've got 3 or 4 seniors that are on the mound this year for me that have carried the weight of it. We've got some younger guys that we're trying to get innings, trying to develop a little bit here and there, and they've stepped up to the challenge. Luckily to our surprise a little bit, and they've given us some quality innings. If we can get our bats rolling at the right time, we could definitely have fun with it. So,
who's the team to beat in your district?
Right now, Sepulpa's the team to beat in our district.
Really?
They've been a power for the last few years. Stephen Irvin over there was a Memorial player, and
Right.
Also helped coach at Memorial. He's taken over that program and has done a great job with them. Tahlequah also, we just actually finished playing a series with them, and they were a really good ball club. They were loaded up and they could swing the bats a little bit, so it made it interesting. But like I said, those are the top 2 teams in our district right now, and they pretty much carry the road for the rest of us. So.
Well, those you're going to have those. You got to chase to get there. Now to get in the playoffs, what do you have to do to qualify?
For us, our playoffs, everybody's into the districts right now, but our big thing is going and playing some of the lower end teams coming up. We've been pretty challenged with our schedule right off the bat and played the upper tier of our district, and we need to at least go and win a couple games, maybe at Del City, and if we can, go down to Durant and win a couple games there to pretty much solidify a spot for us. But if we can do that, I think we'll be set come playoff time.
So top 4.
Yeah.
Top 4. Yeah, that's good. And of course, top 2 host. And
Yes.
So on.
Yes. Yeah.
That's good. I know that the years that I spent in Tulsa, back in Tulsa, that you had a very active booster club with the baseball. They're still working hard like that?
The Edison Booster Club is second to none. They've done a great job for me. I've gone to them with any kind of needs I've had, and they have met, if not exceeded, my expectations. I can't speak highly enough of the people that run it. They do a great job for us. We've completely been able to revamp our field this year. We've leveled it off, reseeded and sodded everything. Tulsa Public has come in and helped us by putting new dugouts in and putting a new netting system in behind.
Oh, yeah.
So we've made a lot of upgrades there. We had to purchase a new gator after our old one was stolen from our facility. So they've upgraded security there. They've also upgraded us with a new gator. So we've been fortunate with that, and that was all provided by our booster club. So to the families and everybody that helped donate to Edison, I once again, I just can't thank them enough.
Yeah,
So,
well, gator's not cheap.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
It certainly isn't. Well, that's great. A great facility to play in. Who are some of your outstanding players other than your shortstop?
Well, like I said, Spencer Daly, he's come in. He's the ace on the mound for us. Plays shortstop when he's not doing the pitching for us. Eli Fuller has stepped up big time as a first baseman, kind of utility guy for us. He's also a key role on the mound for us. Liam Belmard is kind of our heart and soul right now as our catcher. He's a senior also, and he pretty much runs the game for us. He controls who's going where and helps dictate what goes on. And in the lineup, he's pretty much our spark plug. He gets us going. Some other key additions for us this year. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Yeah.
The one that was going to be our key piece was Lance Belmard, the brother. And he ended up being the one that broke his arm this year. Boston Little is a sophomore that stepped into a relief role for us on the mound, and he's exceeded expectations tenfold.
Excellent.
He's been a really big fit for us. And then our center fielder, Brett Lanke, he's come in and has taken over the outfield. I can't speak highly enough of him. He's one of our captains. And he pretty much fills the void for us when things are going wrong in the outfield and there's a ball hit. I don't have any doubt that he's going to go track it down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for being here. Good luck in postseason. Hope everything works out. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Steve Finks, the head baseball coach at Will Rogers High School. Legendary baseball programs.
And that's what I hear, Coach.
Yeah, you know.
And aren't you from there?
I'm fortunate to be able to be on some of those teams.
There you go.
You know, Rosie Hogue was our coach, and Rosie was quite a guy. The coaches back then were really unbelievable. In that, I'll tell you one Rosie story.
Okay.
We're playing Ponca City, and it's a regional game. We got to win to be able to get in the playoffs. And we had a young pitcher named Dennis Ranzall, and he was a sophomore, but he was huge, 6'4", about 250. He could throw it, but sometimes not always over that 17 inches. So,
Right.
you know, we're up there, and he's walked the first two in the bottom of the sixth, and I'm playing third base. Mike White, my good friend, who I ended up doing the eulogy at his funeral, we called timeout and go out and talk to him. We were two seniors there, and said, you know, Dennis, now come on, just throw strikes. Let us field the ball. We'll be okay. Give us a ground ball. That's all we want. Well, he walks the next one. Well, Rosie plants his feet on the ground, and they had a low dugout with like a 6-inch pipe that carried the roof out.
Yes.
He hits his head and knocks himself out.
Oh, no.
Well, that was back in the day that Tulsa just had one coach for baseball. That was
Right.
it.
Right.
So it's me and Mike. So I go over the mound, and Mike says, "What are we going to do?" And I said, "You better throw strikes, Dennis." We ended up winning 6-5.
Okay.
Rosie came to in the bottom of the seventh. I mean, he was out for an inning.
Wow.
You know, and they were up there all by ourselves.
Oh, my goodness.
105 miles from home.
Oh, my goodness.
But it was fun. It was fun. Those were good old days. So tell us about your program. How many kids you have in the program now, and is it growing?
I've got about 19 currently. Trying to get it to grow, trying to get the intensity level back up to where it used to be back in the older days.
You bet.
And wins will get us there, but being in our tough district, it's tough road right now. But with scheduling, we can schedule hopefully some teams that we have a chance to beat and stuff like that. So
Do the K-State scheduling.
yeah,
Have to pay for that you win be 4-0 going into the Big 12.
yes, there you go.
What they
Yes,
always did.
yes.
You know, I've long been a critic of Tulsa recreational programs, especially baseball and softball. You know, when my daughter was growing up, and she played on 2 different teams during the summer, and then a travel team on top of that.
Yes.
My son did too. Today we don't have those opportunities for kids.
No, they don't. They don't play for
They don't play.
whatever reason it is. I
Right.
mean, it could be. I think maybe where my demographic is, it may be a financial thing.
Oh, it is financial. Yeah,
and so they don't play.
you gotta pay so much to be able to be on the
Yes.
team, and you gotta
Yes.
you know, and of course, gloves and cleats and those things are not cheap anymore. you
No,
know, and
no.
so consequently, those kids that start out. I can remember when Tulsa kids baseball was huge in the city
Yes.
of Tulsa.
Yes.
We used to go to Chandler Park when I was at Union, and I had a little bunch that I had from the 1st grade to the 8th grade, and we won 6 city championships with that bunch.
Right.
And they were fun to play with, and my goal always was to have them play where they still wanted to play when the season was over.
Yes.
You know, I didn't
Yes.
want them to say, "Oh my God, I'm glad that's over."
Yes.
So building a program is difficult now, isn't it?
It is very tough. Like you're saying, the getting them to want to come back again. If you don't, and kids today, I think personally, they want that success right now.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of building it. And then, you know, that's why I was talking to the coaches out there a while ago. We've got 24 more games. I mean, we're 1-9 right now, but it's the district games that we're struggling with.
Yeah.
And as you know, I said, let's use these, get better, and then surprise somebody at the end of the season when regionals comes around.
That's what the kids, they are impatient. I've called it a 15-second society. If you
Yes.
don't get them 15, when I was in the college business, websites were everything.
Yes.
A kid would click on and look at that, and if you didn't get his or her attention in 15 seconds, they were off to another school.
Yes.
And that's how these kids have been brought up with the computers and everything, instant reward
Yes.
for that. And it's hard to do that and be patient to build a program. You
Yes.
can see it in the future's coming.
Yes.
And so what do you think the future of baseball at Rogers is?
I've got some freshmen, and they've got skills, but we've got to grow those. And it goes back to the part like we're talking about building the program. They've got to stay interested in what we're doing and trying to accomplish, and hopefully they can understand. I tried to get it communicated to them. You know, it's a process.
Right.
You're just a freshman. I go, I know I'm older and dirt, but you know, we didn't get to play till our senior year because we had to work at it.
Oh yeah.
It's that instant gratification thing like we talked about. So and I've got some kids that have never played before and they're frustrated because they're not getting to play.
Yeah.
And that's a tough factor as well.
Oh sure.
Because you know I want all of them to play.
Hey, well,
but
sure.
we're all not able to play.
That's true.
So,
we got about 30 seconds left, Coach. Tell me about this naming project at the stadium there.
Well, there's the date. I think it's the 9th. It's the second Tuesday, which I think is the 9th, right? And it's they're going to dedication to the old baseball coach, Coach Morgan.
Yeah, Gordon Morgan, good friend of mine.
Yes. He's. I think they're trying to get a hold of the family. Family's going to try to come in, I think, for that possibly. Probably let one of those guys, one of the family members or somebody throw out a first pitch, you know, try to make it kind of ceremonial.
I know his
or
wife
something
still
like
lives here in town.
Okay,
And
okay.
We put him in the TPS Athletics Hall of Fame. She was there.
Okay.
She actually taught my wife how to swim.
Oh,
She
okay.
was a swim teacher, but Gordon was a good friend of mine and a heck of a baseball player. He started out at Rogers as the swim coach.
Oh, really?
And was waiting for Rosie to retire. And as soon as Rosie retired, then he played professional baseball.
Okay. Yes.
And was a coach at TU for a while. So he's quite a background in that. But, well, Coach, we're glad you're here. Good luck with building that program. I know it's a task, but you got to stay patient and
Yes, sir.
keep working, going forward. And when we come back after these messages.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. And now we have Alan Medlock, the head baseball coach of the Hale Rangers. Alan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, I tell you what, it doesn't feel like baseball season. It's a little cold outside.
It did last night. Yeah.
And today is not much, you know, it's
No.
like 43 when I got out of the car here
Sure.
at the studio. But you play through it in the spring.
Have to.
You
Don't
know,
have many dates.
you
Don't have any nice
days.
weather coming.
And that's difficult. I know that some states do it differently.
Sure.
When I lived in Iowa, in the college business, the high schools there didn't finish their state term until July the 4th.
Wow.
You know, they would play May, the end of April, May, and June, and then that was their season because they had great weather to do
Sure.
it. You know, when I was in the college business, we tried to get the American College Baseball Coaches Association to agree to 2 seasons, to play a fall season and a spring season. The fall season would be non-conference games, and then the spring season would be your conference game.
Sure.
They didn't want 2 seasons.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense though. That fall weather's more favorable to baseball anyway.
You know what? You know what? The reason why is that you mean I got to keep them eligible for 2 semesters. That's oh God.
I was afraid you were going to say they didn't have enough coaches.
No, they have enough coaches. There's no question about that. Well, as you, how many years now you've been at Hale?
This is my third.
Third
This will
year
be my
at Hale.
third year.
Okay.
So I finally have a good group of seniors this year, and it's been a lot of fun. I mean, we're kind of getting it off the mat a little bit, and I think we're seeing an uptick. You know,
Good.
our numbers are good, and we're still trying to figure out a way to be competitive because we've just been down for so long. But we've built some baseball players and some good men, and I'm really proud of that.
It's good to be with kids 3 years in a row like that.
Sure.
3 or 4 years in a row. Yeah.
We have some athletes. They didn't realize they were athletes beforehand, you know, type situation. And we have one that's really good football players getting some recognition, you know, from some small schools around here because he has the body of a football player and he's really athletic. And we have a wrestler that we think may be going to Colorado to do some wrestling. That's really kind of changed just kind of the narrative of how we do some things. You know, you try to rebuild that culture first and set those standards, and they follow through for you. Yep. And I knew that we were in a good situation because they have to do a lot of the barking that I don't. You know, when you're
Sure.
late and when things aren't going your way, and it's been nice. We went to a clinic at Oral Roberts, and you know they wanted to talk about their College World Series, and to kind of brag about that a little bit. And the presentation they made to coaches was they give one kid the start of practice every day to give a testimonial or something. And after practice, I talked to Coach Fulmer, and I said, hey, I'm going to start implementing that in my program because we're kind of doing some stuff. We do a handshake class and all kinds of stuff. And he said, Coach, I'll warn you. He goes, the first time you have somebody wanting to do it twice, you got them. He goes, they'll be bought in. And those kids are so glad to be given that quote of the day and everything. And I'm really proud of that. They take that and they go by our practice schedule to the minute, and that starts every day of practice. And they've taken a lot of ownership in that.
You know, leadership, the coach can set the tone for the program, but they can't set the tone for the leadership.
Sure.
That has to come from within.
Yep. And it took me a little bit to figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm still not perfect at it. But yeah, this year I've been really proud of some of the guys that you hear some of the things they say to teammates and stuff that I said to them when they were sophomores and freshmen. It means a lot. You know, I was like, I didn't think that was the thing that set in, but
Right.
You know, clearly we're moving in the right direction.
You never know.
Yeah.
Words said, you know, we take it, especially younger coaches don't realize the influence they have on these kids.
Sure. I'm guilty of that, without a doubt.
Sometimes everything that coach says, that kid's hanging on.
Sure.
That's the next word in his life because that may be the only word, that may be the only male word in his life. And so it makes so much difference. As you look at your program, you think that you've made some progress over these 3 years. So how's the future look for Hale baseball?
We're positive. We're positive. We're senior heavy this year. We have 5 that will really move the needle for us. You know, and they're ones that have kind of set the standard. We go 3 juniors after that, and then we have a good handful. We have 20 out. You know, and that's big for me. I finished with 10. My first year. So good grades, good students, and I think they're on board. I think things are pointing up for us. We play in a tough district, and I knew the coaches before me had said the same things. And in 5A, it's good. I mean, you know, in the limited amount of teams, whether you're on the east side, you're going to get 3 that are knocking on the state door every year in one, and 3 on the other one. It's just how it works, and they're just difficult. But yeah. The way I look at it, we're front loaded in our district to where we start with Claremore, then Pryor, then Collinsville. So essentially, our season kind of starts really changing today because we had Collinsville last night, and now that schedule kind of flips to where we're going to be competitive and we're going to stay in those games, and I think that we'll move the right direction. So
oh, that's good. You always look to the future of what you can and cannot do, and what you would like to do with your team. As you look at your facility, have you had upgrades to your facility over there?
Yeah, they've helped us out this year. It was kind of forced to happen. I will say that the Father's Day storm knocked our scoreboard down in an equipment building over. So we had to have some help coming out. So we just got the the new scoreboard installed. We had the building replaced. That'll really help us. And they've kind of restarted, or helping us out, rebuilding our infield. So we're looking in a pretty good spot right now. Field's in really good shape.
Good.
Had some new sprinkler heads and everything put in. So yeah, I mean we're really happy with how things are going.
Well, good. Well, good luck in postseason.
I appreciate that.
When we come back after these messages, we'll have Chris Hudgens.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have a very special guest, Chris Hudgens. Chris is the Executive Director of Bond Projects for the district, and a district this big with all the facilities that we have. Chris, you have something to do every day, don't you?
We've got a long list of projects that need to be done, always.
Always something pending. That's
Yes.
good to have. I had a guy in my office one time, you know who it is, not there, hadn't been there for a while, but we got a good laugh every day about 3 o'clock. He said, well, I'm all caught up. And I said, where are you working? There's no way we were all caught up. Well, tell us what you got going for this summer.
So this summer we're putting our final touches on the concession and restroom building at the Rogers Stadium on the visitor side.
Oh, yeah.
So that one will be wrapped up. And if you've driven by Hill High School over this past weekend, put all the construction fence, they've starting the construction of our multi-sports facility.
Oh, yeah. Now, is that going to be where the tennis courts?
No, the tennis courts are going to be parking, so it's going to attach to the main school, and so it'll consist of a practice gym, indoor soccer practice area with locker rooms, varsity locker rooms, and then visitor locker rooms as well.
And then you kind of got to walk through. You don't ever have to go outside.
No.
That's a good thing.
And it also will, it's going to double as a FEMA shelter for the entire school.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
well, I notice great progress here at Webster every time we do this every other week, coming along with the music building.
yes, we're going to finish up our band room and the hydroponics and aquaponics, the two greenhouses. That'll be finished up this summer, so Webster will be all completed.
And that's very unique to have those hydroponics.
Yeah, that's
one, isn't it?
state-of-the-art equipment, and that's a very new thing, technology.
Excellent. Well, you know, the thing about this program and some of the other programs here at Webster, it gives kids something to do when they graduate immediately if they have
Right.
that background experience. So when you provide that, that's really interesting. When you get ready to do another bond, when do you think that will be?
We're looking at sometime maybe the fall of 25, so we're about a year and a half away.
Well, that's not long.
No.
When you go into that planning, it's a lot of people don't realize the planning that's involved with the bond committee, and then of course you have the Board of Education and administration, and then the schools that it affects. Kind of go through that process with at the local level, each school, how you deal that with the principals and the people of those locations.
Well, we have an ongoing just a replacement, such as our turf fields and things that are aging out and life cycling replacement. So a lot of that we handle through our central process, roofing and the turf fields. But we look where there's needs, and so when there's a need brought to our attention, we analyze it, come up with a solution, and then bring it to our administration, and they help us prioritize those needs. But a lot of it is just done on life cycle replacement costs.
And the turf there's a bunch of them right now, aren't there?
Right, we've got 2 of them scheduled this summer. We're doing Central McLean. They'll be replaced with our newest turf. And one of the things that we're doing a little bit different, instead of the black chrome rubber that we've used in the past, we're doing the same thing that we're doing. It is a natural color that we've done at Rogers, and it doesn't get near as hot.
I see.
So we're thinking that that's going to last a little bit longer, but it's going to be a lot nicer for the kids to play on when it's not 120 degrees on that turf.
Oh, no kidding. I remember vividly because when I came to work here in February of 12, Central was just now getting their new turf for the first time. And so that's about right. That's about 11 or 12 years. That's about the life expectancy of that. That's good. And of course, they have a stadium now.
Yes.
Which it's a little bit more use than it was before. So.
The other thing that we're doing, we're doing some track resurfacing, and that's at McLean, Central, and Edison. So we have 3 tracks that we're continually resurfacing, keeping those up. An exciting project that we're getting ready, that has actually started, is the replacement of the tennis courts at Memorial.
Oh, yeah.
So we're replacing those.
That's ongoing. I can remember that early in my career. But well, that'll be aesthetically, that'll help that campus.
Yes.
You know, we got the nice softball, baseball, and of course the stadium.
Right.
And on the other side, on the south side, now we'll have the tennis courts. That's where they're going to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a major project, isn't it?
Major project, $1 million.
Yeah, because it's there's a land developed thing.
It's completely tear it out and redo it
Start
from
over.
scratch.
Yeah. All right. What else do we have around the district?
That's about it on the athletic side, and then we've got some interior renovations, some HVAC projects we're doing HVAC projects at Edison and Mayo Wilson, and we're finishing up. These are ESSER funded, a couple of large $9 million projects, and then our interior renovations this summer are at Whitman and Tisdale.
I see. Well, as old as our schools are, there's always going to be something to do to bring them back up to date.
Yes.
They sure are. Well, Chris, thanks for being here. I know you're very busy, and good luck this summer with your building. Good weather, and let's get them done.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
When we're back, we'll have Keith Hines.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Today we have Keith Hines, who's the head tennis coach of the Edison Eagles. Keith, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Boy, you've been there how long?
Well, I was trying to think when you were talking to Pilstrom, because I coached with Pilstrom at Memorial for about a year, and then I went over to Edison, so probably around 2012. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Well, you have developed a program there with great numbers and everything.
Thank
your
you.
time at Edison, and we were able to, 4 or 5 years ago, to do a little renovation on the courts.
Yes.
And everything. And so I don't care what people say, if you don't have facilities, you're not going to have players.
Exactly.
They want to come, they want to be at a nice place, and so on and so forth. So how's your program this year?
You know, we've started off slow. Spring break just seemed like
Forever.
Well, it seemed like it just fell wrong, and so we kind of missed a week there. There was no tournaments or nothing to go to. It kind of screwed everybody up. We've had injuries on the girls, sickness, but I think in the long run, the girls will be okay. We might have eventually one of our stronger teams. The boys, it's kind of a little bit of a work in project, but I feel we have enough talent. It's just I gotta try to put it together, and it's just been a slow go this year. So
now you have a junior high program?
Yes, we have junior high over there. Do that first hour, and I try to get some matches arranged.
Oh yeah, well, good. So you got them early in the pipeline, moving up.
Yeah, and that helps us because we're generally not getting tennis players.
Right.
They tend to go across the street to the private schools.
Mm-hmm.
So it does help me. So in fact, I think my girls this year, what will eventually be my starting lineup, is all kids that I've been with since like 6th grade.
Oh, great.
So that helps.
In tennis, a lot of these programs have summer leagues and that type of thing. How does that operate in tennis?
Well, it's really getting to be difficult with the OSAA, and we got the dead week, but then it's just kind of interfering with camps, tournaments, especially your programs. Like I would think Booker T would get hurt a lot because they have elite players, and so they're now saying, those players can't even play in tournaments at facilities like La Fortune because they're saying that schools practice there. So it's getting kind of really difficult to. In fact, what I'm going to do this summer, I'm not running anything. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to go teach lessons. Because it's just so much involvement that it kind of makes it not worth it.
Well, I always said that we legislate ourselves to mediocrity.
That's what's happening.
The more rules you put on it, the less you can do. And
you can't tell a kid who their parents have invested quite a bit of money in tennis and in the summer is when those elite tournaments are. Well, you can't go play the tournament. Well, they're going to start choosing to not play high school sports. Or say, well, we'll just do tournaments.
Well, see, that happened to us at Booker T one year. We tried to get a waiver for a young lady who was traveling all over the world to play tennis. And she was
Olivia Hogger.
Yeah, she was right up against the day missed rule. And since it wasn't school sponsored, they were counting.
Yeah.
And when you get to 10, you're done, you know. And so we finally worked it out where virtually she could take the classes while she was on the road. And that was a real bonus for her. But it seemed like it's kind of like a coach I had one time when I was at the university level. And he said, look, just give me the book and I'll figure out a way. That's what the rules are there. And it's those that misapply the rule or misuse the rule that cause all the rest of us to have to do that.
Right.
Well, what's the future of tennis for Tulsa?
Well, I think we got to keep the facilities. I think they're going to redo our courts again this summer. Booker T's got some nice courts, and then Memorial's getting theirs done. So, you wish you could get the other schools back.
Right.
I think it's a little bit of I think Tulsa has turned too much into a private club town, and you don't have recreation programs, and that's, and I think that's the problem with tennis.
Well, it's a problem. I tell you, it's a problem in the baseball, the softball, all of that. If you're not on a club team, a travel team,
correct,
you're not playing. You know, and that's a shame for those kids that could develop. You're not fully developed when you're a ninth grader. Or
well,
whatever.
Especially in tennis, they sit there and they start them so young. The kid doesn't even like tennis by the time 8th grade comes around. So you need those kids in 5th grade, 4th grade in a rec program who could get started and would want it. Yeah,
having fun. Well, thanks for being here today.
Appreciate it.
Keep
Nice
up
seeing
the
you.
Good work, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Our next guest today is Lance Pilstrom, the head tennis coach of the Memorial Chargers. Lance, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here.
Well, this is down in spring now. We're almost April.
It's here.
It's getting time for, about 3 weeks regional play, and 3 or 4 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been at Memorial?
I started coaching tennis at Memorial in 2011.
2011. All right.
Then I came on board as a teacher in 2012.
I see. All right. What other things do you do there other than tennis?
I teach advanced English. I do the yearbook, and I also am the cheer coach.
I see. Yearbook is that's a daunting task.
It is. It is.
Oh,
They,
boy,
they
yeah.
they tell us that it's easier to create a yearbook, but it's harder to sell it
I
than it
see.
was 30 years ago.
Oh yeah, it was nobody even thought about not having one.
Exactly.
You know, that's the deal. Well, it's too bad. The society we're in today is everything's 15 seconds and I'm on to something else.
Exactly.
You can't look at a yearbook in 15 seconds. You know, it's not good. Your tennis program, how has that developed over the 12 years?
It's going great. I looked when I found out I was going to be doing this today. I went back and looked at all my yearbooks, and my program has been pretty consistent as far as the numbers. I don't have a lot of players that come to me as tennis players. I have to convince them to talk them. I talk them into it. I say, hey, free tennis lessons, and you get a grade. And they end up really loving it and doing really well. And so I'm excited. I've got a young team. I only have one senior, and everybody else is underclassmen.
Great thing about tennis, it's a lifetime sport.
It is.
You know.
And we are lucky. In fact, Tulsa is lucky, and I wish the other athletic directors and principals would take advantage of LaFortune, because Melissa McCorkle at LaFortune Tennis will do anything and everything to help you with your program. And in fact, right now we are benefiting from a program called First Serve. It's a nonprofit that goes in and they work with underserved communities, and they bring in, we get indoor tennis courts, we get pros, we get rackets, shoes, gear.
It's kind of like First Tee is
Exactly.
golf. Yeah.
And so we definitely benefit from that.
Well, I'll tell you what, she has been an icon for partnership.
Yes.
I mean, there were things that have occurred there, and with our ability to use LaFortune, which is just adjacent to that campus, but for all of our schools,
Yes.
have the All City there and have tournaments there. It's she's anybody who wants to promote their sport, she does.
She will. She will fight for tennis in the high schools.
Absolutely. So tell us about this year's team.
My number one boy is David Antilla. He's a junior. He's part of our EDGE program, which is, it's an acronym for Earn a Degree and Graduate Early, EDG. And so he is doing really well with that program, and he's really coming a long way with tennis. I expect big things from him.
Do you go down and recruit the junior high kids to get into your program?
I try, but I don't really have access to them. And so, it's basically when they get to Memorial, I teach freshman English. And so I'm like, hey, Gil, think about
got 'em right
join
there.
tennis.
Yeah.
And they believe me. I talk them into it, and it works.
Well, how's postseason look?
So far, we've had a couple of tournaments. We've had rain has not been our friend.
Right.
In fact, the other day, David was doing really well against Pryor, and then we had to cut it off because of the rain.
Gee whiz.
I'm like, oh, he was up. I hate that.
Spring sports are difficult.
Especially the outdoors, yes.
You know, as the director all those years, had my weather people very close from March on, because you never knew what was going to happen.
Flexibility is a life
and of
skill.
course, the last 5 years with pandemics and storms and everything else, it's been a little disjointed as far as the spring season is concerned. Look forward to the future?
I do. I'm wrapping up my 22nd year coaching for Tulsa Public Schools. I have coached just about everything. I've done softball, volleyball, swim, basketball, cheer, tennis. Whatever you need, I'm your man. I can handle anything.
All right. How about those defensive ends?
You know what? Give me a little time to research, and I'm your guy.
See, my basic premise has always been, if you want to bad enough, you can. I hired Jackie Dobbins, who was Jack Dobbins' son. Jackie never played football in high school, to be the 8th grade football coach at Union Junior High. He went 16-0 in 2 years.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to coach. He just wanted to coach. He didn't know anything about it. But by the end of that second year, he had his game plan formatted down in his pants, like the big time do on Saturday. You know, I mean, he wanted to be a part of it, and I think you can do that if you really care about the kids.
True, because I think coaching, you can coach any sport because coaching is its own
teaching.
It is, and then you just learn the sport and just apply it.
Well, thanks for being here. Good luck in postseason, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and our last guest today, Kevin Williams, the head tennis coach at Booker T. Washington. But I tell you, Kevin has a lot of jobs. He's also the athletic director for the Carver Wildcats, and they're going through a coaching search right now, and that's always busy. And he had tennis matches yesterday in the nice spring weather that we had.
Right.
So it's It's a busy time of the year.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
How's your team this year?
Team is good. We kind of a mixture of young, old, and some veterans, but we're pretty strong. We're 5A this year, so that certainly is going to help us. But I really like where our team is right now. We've had a good start to the season, and so we've making some strides and kind of turning some heads. And I look forward to what the rest of the season is going to bring.
What effect do you think the newer facility, the tennis facility there on campus, means to your program?
Oh, it's changed the game for us tremendously. Just the ability to go and hit when we want to, the ability to, have them not have to travel after school to go anywhere else. They can just basically walk down to the courts, go to the locker room, be comfortable and get on the court. We can store our stuff. We can, able to have all the things that we need right there on campus. And so having those 4 courts, obviously in a greedy world, we love to have 8. Especially this year, we were asked to host a regional, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that with the 4 courts. But having those on campus has been an absolute plus for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, about 10 years ago, Elizabeth Hebert and I went out to survey the inventory of tennis courts in the Tulsa Public Schools. And so we went to every school, drove around the campus, made notes, and we got to Booker T, and we drove around again, went up in the north parking lot, south parking lot. Finally, I called John Patoshnik the other day. I said, John, where are your tennis courts? We don't have any. I said, what? You got to be kidding me. You got one of the bigger programs in the city. And he said, I said, well, where do they go? I said, well, they just go all over town to their clubs, and that's it. I said, so I said, in other words, the coach just drives the van on match day, right? He said, well, basically, that's it. So now you get an opportunity to coach your kids.
Yes. Yeah,
I think that makes a lot of difference. And I think that will keep kids more involved. And,
Yeah, it does. And we've been able to garner a little more interest from those that otherwise would go elsewhere. And so with us being an academic school and, tennis typically, historically, has a lot of the
correct
upper echelon in the academic stratosphere. So those two things combined have been a big improvement for us and a plus for us.
Well, it is. Anytime you have a facility that's handy for your kids to be able to practice right out the back door, I mean, that's really, really great. Who are some of your players this year that make a difference?
This year, our one singles, she was 2 singles last year, but she's a sophomore, Maya Barkey. She's gotten she's placed in every single tournament we've been in this year. She just recently on Monday got first place in the Edison tennis tournament. Matter of fact, our girls swept, and so certainly she is one of our stronger players. Her and then on the boys' side, we got a couple seniors, Corson Halford and Will Huckabee, very strong doubles group. And so those players, of course, we're strong 1 through 6, well, from a varsity standpoint. And so, but those are probably the standouts this year.
What's the number of your kids play summer?
There's a good number of them that play summers, plays in the USTA. They have those UTR rankings, and so they are playing year round, and so that's helpful. In sense of just staying active and staying at it. So those being able to play those summer tournaments are certainly advantageous.
Are there some restrictive rules? One of the coaches was telling me about restrictive rules on facilities and stuff with summer programs. And
yeah, you have to kind of be careful. Certainly, you don't want to overstep bounds with OSSAA and guidelines and rules and regulations. And so, you just got to be careful on kind of what you do at your facility and kind of how what it is. Certainly
sure.
From practices to workouts. And so you just got to kind of it's a delicate fence with any sport, but certainly when you have the courts on your own facility, then that, you kind of just got to be careful. But
a little difficult, I think, for tennis, golf, those programs where kids can't go out and play in open tournaments, and you always have to say, "No, you can't take this prize."
Yeah, you got to be careful.
You got to be careful on that, And so
amateurism comes into play.
It does. It sure does. Well, Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Hope you have a good postseason and keep those numbers rolling there. And I hope you get a good football coach.
I appreciate it. Yes, we look
Carver today. Okay?
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. 9 years in tennis and 4 years in for AD at Carver, and so we're just trying to build that gap, bridge that gap.
Excellent.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The spring sports season is on us. In 3 weeks, the playoffs will begin for the OSSAA spring sports. As soon as the last track meet race is run, spring football starts in Oklahoma. And with Oklahoma and Tulsa having 5 new coaches in football, changes are coming. We're looking forward to that. As we finish the school year, let's all look forward to the 24-25 school year and another opportunity for our kids in Tulsa to achieve. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of ITA.